Welcome back to the channel, music lovers. This time we have something a little different. We have the brand new Positive Grid RIFF. We're going to unbox the sucker and see what it does. Okay, let's dig in. I was pretty excited to get this. I placed the order and had it 2 days later, which is pretty impressive for as far as fast shipping goes. I have a Spark 40 already and was quite impressed with the modeling capabilities. And this has other capabilities above and beyond because it does use the Bias FX2 software. It has a guitar matching capability, which we can get into a little bit later. Many different controls and the ability to model quite a few different amps. It comes with a trial version of the Bias FX2 software and advertises a zero latency connection to the computer, which that was one of the problems with the Spark. When you tried to use it with the PreSonus software, it had a delay and it was really hard to play along with, made recording difficult. You'd have to actually silence it and just listen to what you were playing instead of hearing it play back through the actual computer, which made playing along with anything nearly impossible. So with the zero delay and the Bias FX software, this should be a dream for a portable or a home recording setup. A quick start guide with a list of what the control button does and the plugs. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and get it out of the package here and see what we have. The button on it's very nice, but it's not actually like a pedal. I wouldn't step on it. You would probably break it. So let's get it out of the plastic here. It has a fair heft to it. Feels well made. The single volume knob has a very nice feel with the turn and the clicking of the actual switch that it operates. Okay, in each end you have a USB cable. This one you have a micro to USB-A cable to connect it to a computer, which is what I'll be using. There you go. And in the other end it has a iOS cable that you can use with an iPad or with an iPhone, which would be quite handy for portability. So there you go. All right, and let's go ahead and show you the ends. You have an input jack on this end and a headphone jack, and a little hard to see with the contrast there. On the other end you have the USB out and an output jack, which is nice. The output jack, a full-size output jack, so you could plug directly into a PA, a powered speaker, or even a mixing board. We'll be using the USB cable because I have the Bias FX2 software trial version already installed on my desktop. So here we go. A little bit of wrangling around to get it plugged in. I'm surprised it's a USB micro. I would have expected USB-C considering most things are moving to that, but can't always have what you want. So all right, and let's get a guitar plugged into this after we make sure that it turns on, which it does. Okay. And a quick run through on the controls. When you tap the control, the first setting is the input level. Tap once, you get the output level, 50 is the max. Tap again, you get the direct controls. And one more time, you get the tone controls that are preset through the Bias FX software. Okay, now that we're plugged into the computer, let's go ahead and launch the Bias FX2 application. And the first time it runs, it will find your riff and it will want to do an auto gain setup. So you tell it click next and then play the guitar, play some chords up and down, whatnot. You can't hear it because obviously my screen capture software wouldn't capture that, but I did it once, and then as you'll see, it said this input signal is weak, so I made sure the knobs and volume were turned up on the guitar and tried again, and got a good result this time. So now that its auto gain has been set, we can go ahead and check out its functions. Here you get a little warning about the auto gain. If you click on the auto gain, it will run again to reset up set up the levels. So no need to do it more than once. Okay, then you can actually control the same levels as you would on the face of the riff. This is the input setting. On the right is the output setting. Okay, down here's your direct monitor, and it's 1, 2, 3, and 4 settings. And you have the tone here, which would be the 4th setting. Okay. All right, go into the settings. And you have a few settings. You have audio settings, background, window size, a few other things. Check the audio settings. See the output devices, the headphones with the RIFF. And, all right, you have a metronome, a looper, and a tuner. We'll go ahead and try the tuner out here. And works fairly neatly. Again, you can't hear it because I didn't have a microphone. The screen capture takes over. Okay, then we'll unmute it and see what it sounds like. And it turns out the American Dream sound is actually a trial type sound and can only be used until you change to one of the other settings. It can't actually be saved as I tried to do here. Now we'll switch to Pure Plexi, another of the 5 default sounds that comes along with it. There's a default clean sound to be found under the acoustic settings. A bass amp modeling is also included called Easy Steps. A little anemic because I didn't have a bass plugged in. And lastly, under Insane, there's Take the Time, which is a heavily overdriven metal kind of sound. If you click on any component in the modeling signal chain, it allows you to adjust it up and down as you would a real pedal. All the controls should have the effect of the real device. So switch between channels, add a channel, adjust the reverb, the speaker cabinets. You can adjust the actual type of speaker cabinet, the type of mic, whether or not there's 1 or 2 in its positioning. The mixing controls, it's super advanced. It can do way more than you would ever expect for a practice amp. And this feature that I loved on the Spark that allows you to play along with your favorite music along with a transcription of the actual chords that's being played is really pretty cool. So you can set it to loop, adjust the speed, and turn the volume up and down to match what you're playing along with. So another really cool feature is the guitar match feature, which in the trial version of the software you only get 1 match and a couple of different voices to choose from. As you can see here, if you choose one, it asks you to upgrade now. Software is generally a lot cheaper. If you look for it, they have specials pretty much daily. Don't pay the full price, as it says in there. But you can choose to make your guitar sound like another guitar by choosing one of these voicings. You just play your guitar a few times as it listens, it learns, it saves it, and then you go back and you can choose the pickup types on these other instruments. So this is where an upgrade to the software is probably worth it, because you get to save more matches for different guitars, and you also get more modeling voices to apply to the pickups on your guitars. So the guitar match feature is pretty neat. I tried it out with a P90 style guitar and set it to PAF, and the difference was noticeable. It noticeably took away the P90's growl and had a more of a full humbucker sound. So it's fairly impressive. Well, and there you have it. The Positive Grid Riff. I really dig it. It has tons of cool tones. It's great to practice with. You don't need an expensive amp. You can just get a speaker cabinet, with a powered speaker cabinet, and have a blasting amplifier with 30 or 40 different tones just by purchasing the software. And it works pretty well with the iOS version of the software. We tried it out, and it had a few more tones, so it was interesting. So give it a try. So if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks again.